Talking today with Southwest Iowa head girls and boys wrestling coach Aaron Lang. Uh, Southwest Iowa is made up of Fremont Mills and Fremont. What? Tell me the school, so I screw it up.
Fremont Mills and Sidney, two small towns in the very corner of Southwest Iowa.
Yeah, we sat at the end of the Riverside tournament a few weeks ago, and kind of just had a real nice conversation about girls wrestling and challenges and um, a little bit about our teams and stuff. So I thought it'd be real fun to talk today about challenges of the small schools and the good parts about it too. So you're also the AD, right?
Yep.
So you can kind of answer some of these questions because sometimes we hear these things. Well, we would start a girls wrestling team if we had the budget, if we had a coach, if we had space. What are some of the challenges that you've had to face at Southwest Iowa?
So some of the things that I've faced have been um, I'm a little bit unique as I'm the AD and wrestling coach. So I was with the boys. So to add the girls was for me was a no brainer. So it was just to get more people to understand what wrestling is and just to love the sport of wrestling. So it was kind of nice to get that thing going. I didn't have to fight with another coach for space and things like that. But I had to fight to get more coaches on staff and just to get people to help out has been my biggest thing. But um, the first several years we practiced together, boys and girls, just because I didn't have the staff. It was me and sometimes one assistant coach. Sometimes it might have been just me. So this has been the first year where I've separated boys and girls from the practice room,
Okay.
which has been very interesting to kind of see how that like just goes off and has been so far this year.
How is that dynamic? Because that same thing happened. I was the boys and well, when I started, I was just the boys coach, but I actually came to Ridgeview to coach the girls that were there. It was a whole
Mhm.
COVID. Coach left. I kind of got thrown into the boys' position, but we practiced together. We had no issues. I think, the girls that I had on that team had been wrestling a long time. The guys were kind of used to them anyway. Have you, what's your thoughts on practicing together? And now what have you seen different from practicing separate?
So there wasn't really a bad thing practicing together because we did start 2 weeks early. You know, when they sanctioned it, we started 2 weeks earlier than the boys, so I could
Mhm.
kind of get them up to speed, which was really nice. So they knew what the drills we were doing, so the boys weren't too crazy. The biggest thing is between the boys and girls that I feel is the girls ask why a lot
Mhm.
more than what the boys do. They ask a lot more questions. Why are we doing this? I don't know if that's to get out of conditioning. I don't know if that's just to take a breather for a little bit, but they always ask that why. So where the boys, they're just like go, 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 go. Like I tell them to do something and boom, they just hit the ground running. Where the
Mhm.
girls, you have to take that a little bit more time to dive down into it and show them the why of what this is going to do to like why am I going to do this? Why do you want me to do a half Nelson? Why do I
Yeah.
have to get a wrist? Little things like that. And I've felt like it was really good for my upper tier girls too, because as long as I had some boys that I were comfortable with, I could have the girls wrestle the boys in practice. And some of those top tier girls, it got them ready for that next level of competition because the boys they could feel what wrestling's supposed to be like
Yep.
with the transitions and just staying on wrestling, the scrambles and different things you can do. So starting out, I it was nice to have the boys there because we could sit back and like look over and be like, okay, hey, that's what wrestling's supposed to look like. Like you're hand fighting, you're looking for scrambles, you're looking to push the pace, and over time, I felt that now we're finally to a spot where I'm like, hey, you know what? It's nice to like split up. It's nice. This is the first year we've split practice, and it's been good because now I feel that we need to train the girl a little bit different than the boys
Yep.
because boys, I feel like they've been rambunctious since they were little guys. You know, they're always wrestling around. Where the girls, I have to teach them how to fall. I
Hmm.
have to take it a little bit slower than the girl with the girls than I do with the boys, just because I feel like the boys growing up in life, they just have been a little bit more rowdy than the girls, and so teaching the girls, hey, it's okay to go after a shot and push the pace and to wrestle, which are not normally ladylike things, right? So it's
Yeah.
trying to now it's like, hey, you can turn this switch and the self-defense and being your own person and all that type of stuff. So it's nice having them in the room by themselves now, because when you feel like you're holding the boys back, uh, they have their own space and their own room now to do those things. So now I don't have to feel like I'm holding them back. I can just take the girls further.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Girls that you're right, they're told a lot of their lives to, you know, not be rowdy, not to be this, and then they get this opportunity. Some embrace it quite well and do a very good job, and
Yeah.
others you do have to kind of bring them along and show them it's okay to. You can always see that in those first practices when they're almost afraid to touch. You know, they haven't done that before, and that changes within a few weeks or real quick. You know, they need to figure that out right away. So yeah, no, that's cool. I
Yep.
experienced some of the same things. Some of the better girls, it's nice to have that. They're able to go quicker, go faster, and then to bring the newer ones on. Yeah, it was a blessing and it was a curse, I think, to have the same room. I'm happy we have a separate room. I've really enjoyed that also. Um, what would you say to any other AD? Because obviously you're dealing with how many girls do you have on your team this year?
This year I have 7. That's with my injured girls and everything, but I had 7 girls this year.
Okay.
First several years with the program, I was at in double digits. I usually had about 12
Okay.
to 13 those first several years, and now we've kind of backpedaled a little bit, and we're at 7 this year.
Well, that'll happen with any of the sport, right? We cycle. But what would you say, to an AD, I mean AD speak, um, hey, I only got a few girls, how do I find the budget? How do I find the space?
First thing I'm going to do is, it's nice having something else for the girls to do in the winter. Right now, here we just had basketball, and I had a lot of girls that don't like basketball. They're like, man, we usually had 25, 30-ish girls out for volleyball, and then we went to like 12 out for basketball, 12 to 15. So it was like, okay, we have 15 to 25 girls not doing anything. So it's like, what can we do? And girls wrestling came along. I'm like, man, this is perfect. Let's give them another opportunity of something to do. And the next thing I did was, for me, I was fortunate enough. I had girls right away that were ready to wrestle. Like we started in junior high. They came out and it made it easy for me to like push it for the high school. Cause I'm like, hey, look at junior high. Like I've got girls that want to do this and they're competing and they enjoyed it. And at that time, they were competing against boys. So it wasn't even competing against girls. Um, so opportunities for the girls, like, hey, we have all these opportunities for boys. Why can't we have more opportunities for the girls? And the other thing too that helped me is I got 2 girls in my household, uh,
Hmm.
Riley and Reagan. So having that option for them now, if they want to play basketball, they sure can. But having that option at high school, just more opportunities for kids. So then the other thing I do is I would look around to see what schools around you are offering girls wrestling. Because if you're unsure of, I would look for a co-op. I mean, co-op getting things started so that way you can get your junior high and your youth ready to go and get kids excited about wrestling. And then once you get them excited, then they don't leave. So that's the best part about starting girls wrestling is they have. I've got a lot of girls that are now I consider my daughters that they're
Hmm.
reaching them back when they go to college or when they leave high school. They're still reaching out. How's the season going? What's this going? Just like the boys as well. But there's just something else about having 2 daughters in my household, people for them to look up to, and what it can really do for the area. And but having that opportunity, I would tell ads, look for those co-ops, look for a way to get it started, because having other opportunities for girls is huge.
Awesome. So with the Southwest Iowa team, let's just talk about your team, your school. How has it been? Has it been well received? A lot of support within the district and the community?
I feel like it's been well received. I there's people asking all the time how the girls wrestling is going. We haven't had a lot of home meets per se, but it always feels like the girls are being asked, hey, how are you doing? How's wrestling going? And I mean, there's so many activities and things like that going on, but I feel like they're getting that uh, they're getting that following from their teachers and their classmates and things like that, which has been really nice. And now, we've got, I don't know exactly how many, but we've got several girls and little kids wrestling, giving it a
Nice.
shot. And I bring my daughters into practice every once in a while, and they, it's like, hey, older sisters, hey, look at me doing my tumbling, and they're talking,
Hmm.
hey, are you going to wrestle when you're older, type of deal. So I mean, it's starting to become a family a little bit more around. So I think the community is, to me, I feel like they've embraced it. I haven't felt like the pushback with it, but so it's been really nice between, and we're Sidney and Tabor, two schools, right? So it's been really good.
Yeah. And you can't get much more Southwest Iowa than you guys, can you? Because there's
Not very much, no.
there's
I
challenges in just Southwest Iowa involved. I mean, because Southwest Iowa, Northwest Iowa is not very well populated, but Southwest Iowa has even, I think, less population, it seems like, and thus, so just yeah, it's definitely some challenges in these smaller schools and different. It's a different environment between Western Iowa as Central Iowa to Eastern Iowa in all sports, not just wrestling.
Yeah, it's the definitely a roller coaster. I mean, small schools, it is the definition of, hey, like I said, 3 years ago, I had 15 girls out. I was, we were winning some tournaments.
Hmm.
Uh, we were going around. I was like, hey, this is awesome. Like, we're the top 2, 3 teams here in Southwest Iowa, and now, the girls, they enjoyed it. They come back and they help out in the room and do some of that stuff. And unfortunately, now we're at a spot where we don't have as many girls.
Yep.
We don't have as many girls of siblings, right? So that, I mean, having siblings that were boys that were in wrestling made things a little bit easier for me to get girls out.
Yeah, that
So
takes a little bit, a few cycles through, and we'll start getting those back. Um, some of the things that I really like about doing this and talking to coaches is I get to steal ideas. So, uh, so maybe I have a alternative motive for this, but no, I really like talking to coaches because I like to hear about what kind of environment you're trying to create and the culture within your team, your boys and girls. I mean, it's just wrestling in general. What kind of culture do you try to create within that room?
really, we're just trying to create a family. We're just trying to create a family. We're creating something it's a nice escape from the world. Like when you come into wrestling, there should be no stress. It should just be I mean, stress of making weight, maybe, of
Yep.
what I can and can't eat, but it's no stress. It's a family. It's an outlet. It's an outlet for life. It's an outlet for, whatever's happened at school, whatever's happened at home. Get away from all that, and let's get, like, we're here for hour and a half, 2 hours. What can we do that's going to be fun? So, and in that time, we're listening to different music. I'm trying to get you to smile. I'm trying to get you to think about things outside of, like, get away from life.
Yep.
This is here, just your buddies. What can we do? And then we're gonna see what you can do. It's wrestling, but we might be doing cartwheels. We might be doing a dance party. We might be doing, anything, but it's just like bringing people together and just having fun and trying to let go of stress for, like I said, that hour and a half, 2 hours
Yeah, I don't know
type
how many
deal.
times I've told our girls that, man, you don't understand. This 2 hours for me is some of the best part of my day, right? I'm out here. I don't have to think about bills and work and what's going on. I love practice time and being with you guys. It's really important. One of the things that we run into coaching girls, a lot of new athletes, building confidence in new athletes. If you got the answer, write a book because you'll be a millionaire tomorrow. But what are some of the things you're trying to do to help build confidence in these new athletes?
Really, it's just reiterating the point of, I don't measure success on wins and losses. I mean, a lot of people do, like, they're like, hey, you have to go win, you have to go do this. Well, I found out, like, when I talk about postseason or I talk about what you can do, I feel like my girls shut down or my boys shut down. They're like, oh, the pressure
Hmm.
gets to them and it eats them alive. So we talk about just little things. Like, it's hard for my girls to go out and want to take shots, like trying to take a double leg or a single leg shot. Like, they are thrown. It's like, this can't happen. So it's like, in practice, they got a beautiful shot. It's like, why don't you
Yep.
guys do that? They're so afraid to go show that in front of people. And it's like, man, what can I do? So we talk a lot about, and even after their match, hey, great job on trying a shot. And then the next time they just get more and more comfortable the more they do it. So I'm very positive based. I don't look at the
Hmm.
negatives too much. I look at what they've done well. Now we still look at those bad things that we could have done. You're up by 10 and then you get thrown to your back and get pinned. We still look at that negative, but I never start out with that negative.
Hmm.
And I always give them their space. I always give them that space to like cool down first because it's never going to end well. They're not going to listen to me. They got a lot more things going on. So I usually let them, when they come off, I tell them one or two things, and then I go let them cool down for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we talk about their match, like what they could have done better. And that conversation is us just sitting there side by side, hey, this is what you probably could have done a little bit better here. Hey, do you see how could have put pressure here? So
Hmm.
uh, the more we do that, the more confidence that I think it builds for those athletes. And then they're not just hearing it from me; they're hearing it from either other people that I brought back in successful wrestlers that I've had. I have them come back in the room and they're hearing it from them. And then they're hearing it from my other assistant coaches. So and then the other thing that helps me out is I got great coaches in the building that they hear it from them. Like they are excited to hear how the girls did. It never fails. I feel like every Sunday I get a text from one of my other coaches of another sport. Hey, how are the girls? Or boys, how did they compete this weekend or how did wrestling go? They always want to know. So that way when school hits, they can have a conversation with that kid about how everything went. So I feel like I've got them to help lean on because I mean, in small school, we got kids that do every sport, or we try to
Yep.
get 4 sport athletes, which is huge. So to have, maybe I got a volleyball player, my volleyball coach reaches out and asks, hey, how was wrestling this weekend? Just to show them that they care and they're part of the family. And my golf coach, tremendous. She does the same thing. Track coach, they're always asking the kids, how did you do? And so I think that helps build that confidence, just having the great team that I've got.
That's awesome. That you brought up the point, multi-sport athletes, small schools. Um, some of that as you go farther east into the larger schools, and there's small schools out, on the eastern side of the state too, that have to do the same thing. But boy, we get the bulk of the population is there.
Yep.
And those athletes, I don't think they don't get the opportunity as much to be a four sport varsity athlete or, you know, I think it's so important, but we tend to see that in the bigger schools and those kids are doing a sport year round. And we're
Mhm.
doing four sports or three sports, or we're in choir band, uh, the play, this, that. We're doing everything. They get the opportunity. So good, a great thing of this. But then when you look at when it comes to state tournament time and things like that, kind of be. I don't know where my question's going here, but and I'm trying to say, what do you think the benefits of having that four sport athlete that is also in band and doing the play, and what's the benefit of that you see, and why do you love being at this small school?
The benefit of it is I feel like the kid doesn't get as burnt out as quickly because I mean they do and they don't, but it's one of those where I don't spend a lot of time in the off season. Like, hey, I understand you've got talk about a couple of my athletes right now. I have a couple volleyball players, then they run track, then one plays softball, another one's playing golf as well. So I mean, they are 3, 4
Hmm.
sport athletes. So I understand what it takes on the toll on their body. And wrestling's already a grueling and demanding sport the way it is. And I know our kids don't put in general in society, we don't put in the right nutrition. And
Hmm.
sometimes that's not up to them. That's just the hand they're dealt. So it's one of those things like it's so important because you're training different parts of the muscle, different muscle body parts, and being that 4 sport athlete, 3 sport athlete. And it's nice because I have those kids like they get that break out of the room. The room can be so grueling at times, but uh, and that really is interesting to me because I mean it helps those kids keep enjoying it. I feel like that's how I keep my numbers right now. Like I said, I had 7. start before injuries and stuff. I think that helps keep my numbers where they're at because it's like, hey, wrestling's over. Let's go on to that next sport. And then they've got a little bit of time, a break from that sport where, hey, I like it. I miss it. I miss that time being in the room and having the dance parties and having the music and the non-stress. So it's nice having those other sports because it keeps wrestling in perspective of, hey, this is it's another sport. It's another way of training my muscles and things like that. It gives me a break from those other sports when it is wrestling season time. Now, I will say at times that being in a small school, it stinks when you get to that postseason. At
Hmm.
postseason time, everybody's talking about wrestling and when they wrestle freestyle and some of that. I'm like, man, that's tough for my girls when they're either playing club volleyball to get ready for the upcoming volleyball season and in not basketball, sorry, but track, golf. Like we had a couple years ago, we had a state golf team, and this last year we had state volleyball team. So our girls were at state volleyball the first week of wrestling practice this year.
Yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
like, hey, we're a week behind now. So we
Hmm.
got to we got to play catch up. And I feel like we're finally just now. I feel like we're just now getting caught up with our last tournament this last weekend. I'm like, hey, we're finally there. Like we're at that spot. And it was like maybe we did a little bit more over Christmas break to get that catch up, but it was like, man, we're behind. We got to go, and kind of throws everything off because this is the first year I've had that state volleyball kind of knocking into that realm of practice time. But uh, it's hard to keep those kids wanting to work hard in the off season just because they have
Hmm.
so much other things going on. And then it's like, hey, where's the time to be a kid? And I value being a kid and family time way too much to say, hey, we're gonna spend 4 days in the summer in the wrestling room, because then it just kind of burns those kids out. So having multi-sport athletes is huge in my opinion, and it just keeps things excited for those kids.
Yeah. You have had some postseason success. You've had qualifiers. How many qualifiers have you had over the sanctioning?
Since the sanctioning, I've had two girls, but 2 years. So they've qualified both as juniors, both as
Okay.
seniors.
Okay.
And then I had a handful of girls that were right on the cusp of, they were fifth place qualifier. They were not fifth place qualifiers,
Yep.
but was
They
on the
were,
door knocking, looking in.
yep.
And that was when we had the
The
super regional. I felt
yeah.
like the one class, and it was, hey, it's a dog fight to, you're in a 24 girl bracket, which ended up being 17, 18 girls in some of those because they were in the middleweight classes. So it was like, man, this is just
It's
brutal.
it is brutal, and that's a question I kind of want to ask. And maybe I'm lobbying for this because I would like to see three qualifiers like the boys have. I think it has become very difficult to become a state qualifier in the state of Iowa for those girls. I think the sport has progressed so quickly, and there is so many really really good wrestlers that those third place winners deserve that opportunity too. What would having more qualifiers do for a school like yourself with a smaller team?
It would be huge. Having that third place kid get in, if you lose on that front side, most of my girls are like, man, they look at it and they're like, that's a tough bracket. Now I got to hope this girl wins it. So now
Hmm.
your fingers are a little crossed if you lose a tough 5-4 match. It's like, man, what can I do to get back into the tournament? And I'll tell you, I've been around. I've been to every state tournament, but the very very first one
Uh-huh.
up in, I believe it was Waverly when
Yep.
they host girls. The Coaches Association put it on in Waverly. I didn't go to the
Yep.
first one, but I've been to every one since. And I tell you, man, the girls wrestling in Iowa right now, wow. Each year, I'm like, it doesn't matter if you're a junior or a senior because you got freshmen coming in that are just as good, if not better. They are ready to rock and roll, and
Yeah.
it is tough. It is tough to get in there. Um, those two girls that qualified for state as juniors, that senior year, it wasn't given. It was I got to work my tail off. Not
Hmm.
saying that it should be expected or given. That if you qualified as juniors, but they had to go work. They couldn't. There was no like downtime. Like, hey, you really want to place or you want to get there because they felt they were placers. We were right on the outside of placing with both of them at the state tournament, and that was in the one class system. And it was like, holy moly, man, like these girls coming up, like it's tough. And
Yeah.
then but having a qualifier, it just gets the community excited. It gets kids excited because
Hmm.
it's like, "Oh, I can't. They did it. Why can't I?" So only having two, and then when you look at it, most times you've got 18 teams, 20 teams
Yeah.
in your region, and like just looking at that, like it's tough on the mind. And now you might only have 14, 15 kids in your weight class, but it's just the thought of, man, I got to wrestle 5 matches or 4 matches just get to the finals. I mean,
Yeah. It's a lot. Well, I just pulled up I have a spreadsheet and I've been working on this with Ali Jabrock and stuff just because just for our own personal thing. I got each regional and I've got, at this time was the ranked wrestlers prior to Christmas, the last rankings that came out. Your regional and the brackets they're full sized. I mean, there's most of them are over nine. Max is 15, but that's a big bracket. That's a
Yep.
big bracket. And you got 27 ranked wrestlers in your regional right now,
Yeah.
which I mean, we've been around long enough. Rankings mean about zero, but we also know that's quality. We know there's 27 quality, very quality wrestlers in your regional. So that makes it, even when you're looking at a bracket of 15, you got three quality, real solid quality people in your bracket. Man, that makes it really tough. And somebody really good is going to stay home. I really think that third qualifier would help out a lot. My personal opinion on that.
I agree with you. I think having that third qualifier just gets somebody else excited, and it keeps, it gives more hope to that backside. Like, hey,
Mhm.
I messed. I tell you right now, I had a kid last year as the number 2 seed. We were looking, and we're like, hey, we're ready. Like, let's go. Like, this is going to be a good day for us. We're in a good spot, and we had a bad match. Kudos to the girl that beat us,
Yeah.
but she had that bad. I was like, dang it. Like this is really going to be difficult for me because now I need a lot of help, because I lost in the quarters, and now me coming back is very, very slim.
It's
So,
yeah.
uh,
I
and then
last say
you,
first time I've ever seen this. Um, I had a girl lose first round and came all the way back and got the wrestle back. I've never seen, I mean, I guess I've never really, maybe I haven't paid attention enough, but I've never seen somebody lose that first round and get all the way back and she didn't qualify. But I was like, wow, you won like, I don't know how many matches on the backside just to get that opportunity. And then the girl, the right girl had to lose. Wow, it was really crazy. And you don't see that usually. That first round loss kind of destroys people.
oh
But
no, that's the to speak on the mental toughness. And hey,
yep.
it's okay. Let's come back. You still have a chance. And like having that third qualifier, having them there, I always like to be able to recognize more kids. I mean,
Hmm.
you can't tell me it's going to hurt the sport by recognizing 8 more kids per weight class.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you qualified for the state tournament. I mean, wrestling in the state of Iowa, like it's top notch. Like to be able to say, "Hey, I was a state qualifier." I mean, that's big. I
Yeah.
mean, and then if you could place, I mean, that's even bigger. Just to
Yeah.
say, "Hey, people hold on to that for the rest of their life." So I mean,
And
it's
this is another thing that really has kind of blown my mind the last couple of years. I feel like we split classes, but I feel like it's harder now than it was even at the super regionals. And to me, that doesn't seem to make sense, but to me, it's like, how did we split? And it's each class, boy, there's quality up and down the lineups. It's just really amazing to see. Uh, I don't know if that's a question or just a statement. I just think it's amazing.
right. Right. I would agree that it almost feels harder. And maybe to me, because being in Southwest Iowa, we don't have a lot of those big communities. So when you
Yep.
went to a 2 class system, it was nice, don't get me wrong, but at the same point, I can only see it when I'm thinking 2A over in Southwest Iowa, there's that only probably took out a handful of schools, maybe 10 for me.
Correct.
It's not
Yeah.
like it really took out a ton of schools, especially last year, because last year, remind me, there were only
We
what,
only
like
had, yeah, there was
48?
60. Yeah, no, it was 64. So it's eight per regional. So yeah, yeah. So you guys had some huge tournament, 20 some teams at your tournaments, 24, 25, 28, 30. Yeah, there was a lot. Those are huge.
Yeah, so when we had one regional and we qualified four girls through in one
Hmm.
class system, I was like, man, at first I was like, ah, that's really hard, but I was like, I feel like it's harder now
Hmm.
just
I do
to get
too.
into the final. I mean, you got to get to the finals, and before when you had, you get to the finals or the third, fourth place match, right?
Yeah.
So it was like, but yeah, I definitely feel like it's gotten harder, even though we're at two class, and the growth of the sport. I mean, having the teams that have the girls that they've got, I mean, is amazing.
Yeah, I don't think we're quite ready for that third class. I know that's been mentioned. I just don't feel we're quite ready for that. I don't feel the teams are full enough yet to break that into thirds, but I don't know. I don't know the best way to.
No, I'm not ready for a third class. I want to see, especially in Western and Southwestern Iowa, I want to see some more stability. Like you're saying, that
Yeah.
third place qualifier. Um, and being from a small school, I don't see the justification for it. The one thing I think of, if we were to go to a three class system, and this is me being from a small school, right now I'm potentially looking at how my program is going to survive the way it is right now. So I
Uh-huh.
might be exploring what a co-op might look like,
Yeah.
a bigger co-op.
Yep.
Right now, it's just Fremont Mills Tabor, and I had the girls early. I didn't do a great job in my middle school and youth to keep this sustainability going. So I might be looking in the future, um, for a bigger co-op to get
Uh-huh.
those numbers for not only my community and my schools, but for a neighboring school. Hey, let's figure out a way so we can get girls wrestling to take off in southwestern Iowa like it is the rest of the state, right? So
Yeah.
our numbers are, I feel like they're a little bit down on this part of the state, but how can we get it bigger? And I've got some good ideas. He's got some good ideas. It's never any fun having four girls going to wrestle in a wrestling tournament. I
Yep.
mean, those are long days, and if you have eight girls from one team, it makes it makes it a little bit more enjoyable, more fun.
Yep.
If you make those numbers bigger and bigger, we go to a three class system, I look at a couple of my kids, and it's like, if I stay here in 1A, it might be she might qualify in 1A. If I go to a two class system, three class, stay in two class, is it going to benefit us? Like
Uh-huh.
the co-op, it might not benefit us to co-op and go up to 2A, depending on where those um, numbers fall or in what class. I mean, if we were, I would say three class system, I would hope we would still be in that
I would
small
think
class.
so.
I think we would, but I don't think that's necessarily going to grow my team. I think
Hmm.
potential co-op might make the sustainability a little bit bigger for us or
Yeah.
better for us
Yeah.
type deal.
I kind of struggle back and forth with the co-ops. I'm in a fairly large co-op. We had four schools that the main, well, there's five, there's actually six schools listed, but two of those schools don't send anybody. So I got four schools that send people. Some of them send I get two or three athletes out, some I get six athletes out, so I need my co-op to have a full team, and I don't even have a full team. But I
Yep.
look at some of the larger co-ops, and I'm wearing an Ankeny hat today. I look at Ankeny where I look at their rosters, and I'm not downplaying the coaching staffs or anything. They coach who comes in there. They're not the ones that make that decision. But you get 50 kids on a roster, holy crap. First of all, you got practice partners for days, and and
Yep.
and you got something happens. Like I had two injuries this weekend, and I don't know if kids will be back. And that's kind of a bad time of year. But are you taking away opportunities from another person that could be in a regional if you weren't in a co-op? If you got those kind of numbers, that's kind
Right.
of. I'm not, I don't want to disparage those schools because they don't really make that. The coaches don't make that decision at all. I found that out as a coach in a co-op. I don't make decisions like that. But
Right.
are we taking away opportunities for another person that could be in a regional, could be a state? There could be state qualifiers or place or sit behind some of those incredibly good athletes.
Right. No, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I don't know the right answer. I know, like for us in our area, it might be one of those things that, and maybe it's not in the cards, but I think growing the sport down here in what southwestern Iowa is a bigger part than, to me, like the three class system,
Yeah.
and three qualifiers I think helps me do that, because if you're a state qualifier, hey, they're more apt to come back the next year, or if they're right on
Yep.
the cusp of being that, like, hey, I got fifth or fourth. Now
Yep.
you're like, hey, I was right there. I
Yeah.
almost made it. There, now they're working that much harder to get there, and I think that
And then
helps
there's
keep.
excitement in the school too. Hey, we had five state qualifiers this year. Or we had four state qualifiers. I could do that. That, just the excitement about the sport. So,
Yeah, that I'd agree there.
um, what other sports have you coached in the past or
I've
now?
been, yeah, right now I softball. I'm the head coach of softball. I've been an assistant coach for football. I've been a head baseball coach. Um, I've coached my third grade daughter's volleyball team
How's
because she
that? How's coaching a third grade daughter's volleyball team? Is that
a lot of patience, a lot of patience. And, in a way, I credit girls wrestling for that, because it's like one of those where it's like, hey, I got to be patient with these girls on how to learn how to do stance and motion. So I
Yep.
better have patience when these girls are hitting the ball over the volleyball net. So yeah, a lot of different hats and places I've coached.
Yeah,
So
especially, and that happens in the small school. You said, "Well, I'm coaching this. I'm the AD because I can't find somebody." Right? That's tough
yep,
too. I'm going to say this now. I don't know how many people actually watch, but IWCOA is, doing a good job of giving some money. If you go get your coaching endorsement and you're going to be a wrestling coach, they'll pay, I think, half of it back, $250 on that approximately $500 course. So that's, something. We got to find coaches. We got to find
yeah,
officials too.
exactly. Yep. No, that's huge. I love it. I've been working on it. Too bad they're still in college and it's too far away for them right
Uh-huh.
now. But I've been working on a lot of ex wrestlers just to, hey, get back in the room. Here's something for you, and
Uh-huh.
they can't make it happen right now, but they're trying.
Yep. So really important to us as coaches. You coach multiple sports, but family and the people at home that are holding things together while we are gone a lot. I thought I'd give you a little bit of time to, tell us who your family is and maybe thank them.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. My wife Becky, and I got two daughters, Riley and Reagan. Without my wife holding the household, I mean, there's coaching the boys and girls. There's some weeks I'm gone Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
Yep.
and then we've got Sunday and we've got a Wednesday that we get to do stuff. And on those Wednesdays, we normally have youth basketball practice, but uh, I try to bring my kiddos into the room whenever I possibly can. They're with me, so that way, I mean, they enjoy it. And then just my wife, I mean, I can't thank her enough for giving me the opportunity to, one, grow wrestling, two, grow girls wrestling, and then just without her, there's no way I can make any of this stuff happen. So she's been amazing. She's helping do everything for me when it comes to wrestling.
Hmm.
When it's coming to some duels or some tournaments, she's, oh, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to go pick up? I mean, there's multiple times I need something for a med kit, or I need something this that I forgot last second. Hey, can you go get this for me? Hey, I forgot this. So without having her support to grow this, um, I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. I mean, she's
Yeah.
holding down the fort. She's making sure the kids are in bed and doing all that. So I appreciate all the hard work that she's put in without me around.
Yes,
So
coaches' wives they are very, very, very important, and I want to make sure anytime I have a coach on, I want to make sure I get let the wives know that we appreciate them because we need all the coaches in the world, and we need good coaches, and we got to have them. We got to have them because
yeah,
it's really important. I was talking to Jesse Sundell yesterday. I was at the Ogden tournament, and if you've never met Jesse, or if anybody hasn't met Jesse, four-time state champion, but you would never know it. This guy is the most humble, gracious person I've ever been around. But we were talking about wrestling and the fact that, we feel like we're in a good spot right now, but if you really look at the numbers, it's kind of scary to tell you the truth. There's only 13% of colleges and universities that have wrestling. And there's a couple that dropped this last little bit. NIL maybe changing some of that. They're not a revenue sport typically. Supporting wrestling. And again, I don't know if there's a question in that or if it's just you've said it before. You're the boys coach and the girls coach, so you're supporting wrestling on all sides. Uh,
yep.
What's your, I guess, I don't necessarily need your thoughts on NIL, but just the idea of supporting the sport and how can we do it better?
Yeah, no. The sport's done so much for me, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today without the sport of wrestling. I mean, the success I've had in wrestling as a kid, as an athlete, to what it's taught me as I mean, it's teaching me life. I mean, there's so many things I can go back and do. I'm like, man, I learned that in wrestling,
Hmm.
and to be able to push that on to and the love of the sport, just giving that to other athletes and opportunities. I got two girls that went to college to wrestle. One right now is down at Southeastern Community College in Beatrice,
Oh, nice.
wrestling down there.
Uh-huh.
She won a couple matches at the JUCO tournament, JUCO
Hmm.
national tournament last year, and I had another one that went to Iowa Western, and it's helping pay for their school. It's giving them opportunities after high school to where it's making things affordable and things for them, which has been really nice. So, uh, anything to give opportunities to kids and anything that we can do is huge. So, to have the programs around here that we do is amazing, and I can't thank them enough to hopefully we can continue having some of these programs.
Yes.
It stinks to watch them drop because I feel like wrestling's that one thing. When you go to a wrestling school, at least at that smaller level, I don't see them transferring as often. They're there because the coach is there. They're there because
Yep.
they've got somebody that cares for them, that's going to look after them, that's going to help them in life. And when I wrestled in college, I had a coach that he didn't care if we're he cared if we were an All-American, right? But he
Yep.
cared more about us being an academic All-American. And
Yep.
that's what really got me to that school where I'm like, hey, I went to Morningside University and Tim Jager was my coach. And it was like, hey, I want you to be an academic All-American. Let's do those things. And
Yep.
because he cared about me as a person, I was like, this is where I need to be. This is where I want to be. And it was really good for me. And I think that's um, a lot of wrestling coaches. I think they're looking after that kid and giving them that stability or somebody else to help them along through life. And
That's
wrestling
awesome.
to me, wrestling's a giant family.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. It's
and
amazing
I,
the connections. I mean, you said Morningside, you were so GPAC school. I was
yep.
in the GPAC before it was the GPAC because I went to Dana, so
Okay. Yep.
and the last I was helping coach the last 2 years Dana was around. So the 2009, 2010 season, I was in the room and kind of a volunteer assistant, helped a lot of the kids that were unattached. They weren't supposed to have a official coach in their corner. I did a lot of that. So the GPAC
Yep.
is such a tough conference.
It is. No, yeah, and Dana was always oh man, it was always fun wrestling those Dana guys. I mean, those duels were fun, and
Yep.
it was small town to me as small town wrestling again. Like
Yep.
it was just you don't have a lot of people in the stands. You have people that care about it and love it, and they're coming to watch and cheer you on. And
Yep.
then
And
afterwards, it was just a giant family.
your coaches are paid basically nothing and they're doing it because they love you and they love the sport. And that's where I think
Yep.
a lot of us get that from. A lot of us are from small school, in Iowa D3 and NAI people, and our coaches did it for the love of it, not for the paycheck. So
You're not doing it for the paycheck at the time because I mean those extra workouts that you're going, hey, I need to open the room in so I can lose another
yep.
pound, or not
Yeah, that's
doing it
uh,
for the
I'm gonna
hourly wage.
so being a girls and boys coach, do you ever get an opportunity to touch the practice playlist?
Oh, um, really, the only time I get to touch the playlist is if it's too explicit. They
Ah,
know the rule that I don't
yep.
like the foul language and things like that. So as long as it is non-explicit, like we're good to go. And
Yeah.
but no, yeah, I don't get. They don't like the music I pick.
Yep.
Uh,
I get that a lot. They call it grandpa music for me because I'm back in the late 80s, early 90s and stuff. So I get grandpa music all the time.
Yep, and I've got 2 girls, so in
Yep.
the boys' room, girls' room, I'm playing probably Elsa
Uh-huh.
or some of
There you
those,
go.
Disney music. So, but, I don't get to touch the music, but, we have a lot of fun with the the music that's going on. I mean, dancing and just making it a fun environment.
Awesome. Food is such a huge part of the wrestlers' lives and stuff. But as former wrestlers, we get to indulge our guilty pleasures. Mine's always been ice cream. Absolutely love it. Do you have a guilty pleasure food?
Oh man, not necessarily a food. Mine's more just Dr. Pepper. I mean, just
Oh my
wherever I'm
God,
at,
yes.
I'm getting me a Dr. Pepper. That's going to get me going for the day. And then, I mean, any sweet, really. I mean,
I I
I
grew up in a
appreciate
household.
Coke syrup.
Yeah, I grew up in a household that they didn't, my parents didn't drink coffee. They had Dr. Pepper for breakfast and for lunch. And my dad, the 10, 2, and 4 thing, that was religion to him. So I actually, talking about food, I'm friends with the guys at Eakin and stuff. Or Joey's, he's from Denison, I'm from Denison, and he had me get on their scale, the scanning scale, and he said, "Dude, you got to do something." And I was like, "Okay." So I've quit my Dr. Pepper habit, but I sure miss it. I like that one. That is
Yeah,
very good. I've been asking this question too. So in the area you're at, where's the place to go out and eat?
go out and eat. Oh man, I would say at East Mills, Classic Cafe is always a great place. I mean, they've always got great food, great environment. In Tabor, I would say Meg's Bar and Grill they have got a great burger down there. So and then down in Hamburg, I like the Blue Moon. I mean, you want to talk about tenderloin? I mean, the size of my head.
Oh
I
wow.
mean, that's small town. I mean, those
Yep.
are the three places I think of right away. So
Yeah. Small town food's good food.
yeah, it's great.
Not always good for you, but it's good. Yes.
Right. It's one
Um,
of those things. It's like you eat it at lunch. Don't expect me to do anything else for the rest of the day.
for sure. Do you have a bucket list vacation spot that you and your wife want to go to?
Oh, we do we want to get to Charleston, South Carolina, with the history, the beaches, somewhere down south. But I know Charleston's one of those that we've looked at a couple different times. That hopefully this spring we're going to get to. We've been talking about it quite a bit. But yeah, just get to the beach.
Nice.
So, and I like history and
I have
Charleston.
learned over this past year and a half or so that I've been doing this that you are either a beach person or a mountain person, and I am a beach person. So I I can be that big beached whale, and I love just floating in the water. But uh, next thing, and I know you don't have a lot of time being an AD, being you're gone a lot, but are there any TV shows you've been binging or any that you want to binge?
My daughter, uh, my oldest daughter is a sixth grader. She's
Okay.
really taken to Survivor.
Oh,
We
nice.
started because we're like, man, is there something that we can watch? And we started watching Survivor. It was like, what can we do together?
Hmm.
And Survivor was that niche. Now we started watching it. Now we're going back on old episodes. So she's really, and actually not just my daughter, but now my wife's into it too. So it's my wife, my oldest daughter, myself, my youngest daughter. She's not liking it too much because she's Survivor again. But we're really digging Survivor. I mean, we've done meals like the Survivor deal, so it's like, oh, we're gonna have some of those contests that sound disgusting, but
Uh,
it makes life a little bit more enjoyable. Now I think we're watching season 35 now, so
Really?
just to
Has there
watch
been
the
that many
old one.
seasons? I remember when, man, it's getting old when you say, well, I remember when that first came out.
Yeah, I
God
think
dang.
they're just getting ready for Survivor 50, so we're going
Wow.
back watching some of those older ones just to see what was it like really on
Uh-huh.
Survivor, and we love it. It's been a good thing for our family.
The rule changes last year, something I wasn't sure if I'd like them, honestly, when it first popped in there, but I think I've really enjoyed the 3 point takedown. Sometimes it's like, how did I get behind that far? So quick. But and the 1 point of contact really has changed, the edge wrestling. What's your thoughts on the new rule set?
I like it. It makes it the best thing about it is the sport of wrestling. It is the same if you're a 3, 4, 5, 6 year old all the way up into high school or college even. I mean,
Hmm.
for the most part. So I really like the change because it just keeps it consistent. That way, when you're trying to teach that sport to younger kids, it's the same all the way through, right? So I really like it. It gives a little bit, uh, less, not necessarily less work for the officials. It almost probably puts on more work when it's like, hey, 1 foot in, but like
Hmm.
there's more area to wrestle, less stoppages, faster tournaments. I mean, faster matches in a way, because if they're gonna if you got somebody that's good enough that's gonna tech them or possibly get a pin, you're not getting as many. I mean, I remember there's kids all the time that right off the whistle they would go. They were worried about getting taken down, right? So they're wrestling that edge,
Yep.
having that edge rush. As long as people have that space, edge wrestling, like it's actual wrestling now. So now it's like, hey, you're go 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 go, and then the points. I mean, it helps because two things. One, uh, it's one of those where you're like, oh man, like takedowns. You better be good on your takedowns or on top. If you can
Yep.
master one of those two things, you're gonna be really good. But it takes some of those where you've got a really good kid against somebody that's maybe not as good. Those tech falls happen a little bit quicker. Um,
Yes, they
so
do.
for me,
Yes, they do.
so, so for me, I kind of enjoy that a little bit more because it's like somebody that I'm trying to keep out for the sport of wrestling. It's hard when they're getting, it's if they're going to get tech falled, I'd rather them get tech falled in,
Yep.
2 minutes or in the third period or closer to the end of the second period than I would waiting all the way to the very last second. Right. So it's
Yeah.
like, that sounds bad on my part, but
No, I
it
understand. I
kind of,
know it. Anybody coaching girls understands exactly what you're saying, you know.
it keeps them around. It keeps them
Yep.
out a little bit. Just know. And then plus to me, if I can say, hey, you didn't get pinned, you got
Uh-huh.
teched instead of pinned, hey, you're improving. So I mean that helps a lot because then you're right. I am improving. I didn't get pinned, So it's
Or
like little stuff.
if you're in a duel and you get tech that I don't know how many duels I've been in the last, since we started doing girls wrestling. One point, everything's pinned, one side or the
Yep.
other. And if you get a tech fall, you just won the duel for me. You didn't
Yep.
get pinned. You won this duel for us, man. I've had that happen, and it's true. It's really true.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I mean it's huge on that aspect of it. So which has been nice.
If you got the promotion to be the head of the NFHS Wrestling Rules Committee person, would you change any rules? Anything that you'd like to see changed?
Oh man. I don't want that power.
I don't blame you.
um Really not right now, not really. The thing that is discouraging to me sometimes is the weigh-in protocol sometimes, and we're being too stickler-ish on some of that other stuff. Uh, but I wouldn't change a whole lot. I like where wrestling's at right now.
Mhm.
I like the two class system right now. I think we just I think we're in a great spot right now. It's just can we keep improving the product that we've got?
Yeah. Since you're in school anyway, I'm going to give you a fill in the blank question here. And you've answered it already, but I'll get the official answer. Wrestling has taught me to blank.
Wrestling has taught me to, oh man, wrestling's taught me. There's more. There's so many words I could put in there,
Yeah, yeah. It's
but wrestling's taught me really how to live life. To be honest, I mean it's taught me everything, for the most part, and it's taught me how to. I would say yeah, wrestling's taught me how to live life is what I would say on
That's a good
that note.
answer. It's a very good answer. I don't know if there's any other sport you ask that question and you get answers like that. I've had
Mhm.
I've had some really, very similar answers. I've heard everything. I've heard to be a man, to be, I've just all kinds of things, So it's I think wrestling does it's such a different sport and does such good things.
Mhm.
Um, Not too many years ago, and I know we have an organization called this, so sometimes I don't like using this question, but I use it anyway. I don't care. I don't think I'm getting sued. I'm not making any money. So
Right.
a few years ago, if someone said you wrestle like a girl, it was meant to be derogatory. Now, today, I don't believe that. What do you feel like it is to wrestle like a girl now?
Oh man, it's funny. Like I had a before I became a girls wrestling coach, I had a an English teacher, Mrs. Foth, amazing. She had boys that wrestled, and uh, we would there'd be people that say like, "Man, you wrestle like a girl, or you throw like a girl," and before I might even said that when I was younger. I mean, that was
Uh-huh.
one of those things. Now it's got a different meaning. I mean, it to me, wrestle like a girl, like, hey, they're going out and they're giving it their all. I see the passion. They're putting in just as much work as the boys. Um, they're working on the nutrition, they're working on the technique. It's all the same. You know, their commitment level is just as committed as the boys. So to me, wrestle like a girl. Um, when I hear that one, I think of two things. I think of a big movement because I mean, girls into wrestling, huge.
Yep.
And then two, I just think of whenever you wrestle, you gain confidence. And one thing I want to see my girls get, not just the girls on my wrestling team, but the girls in my house, my daughters, I want to see them be confident people. So
Uh-huh.
when I think of wrestle like a girl, I think of, hey, let's go become confident. Let's go be confident in life. Let's be confident in what we do, our nutrition, how we prepare for the day, how we prepare for a test, how we like to me, that's wrestle like a girl. Like it's, hey, do you have all your stuff ready to go? Do you have your nutrition in line? Or is your weight under control? Or are your skills developed and crisp and ready to go? Like it to me, wrestle like a girl is it's just I don't even know why we need to have wrestle like a like, hey, you wrestle like
Yep.
a girl, like, hey, you
Yep.
wrestle.
Yeah.
Like it.
And that's how it is. That's what it is. I too I love your answer. That was really good. Um, we don't get to be good coaches. We without having good coaches. And
Mhm.
we're getting real close to just a couple things left. So I want to give you the opportunity, some of those coaches in your past that have really helped you become the coach you are today. Who are they?
Yeah, some people I think of um, Ryan Schlinn was my head coach in high school. Somebody that I don't give him a lot of props ever. That I'm never gonna. I'm not telling him to his face here, but if you watch this, but
Uh-huh.
my brother Claude Lang. I mean, he was a great inspiration for me. He coached me my last 2 years of high school, and then he was a rival coach when I first started this gig. He was across 15 minutes up the road, and we dueled against each other, and all the time. And it was just he did a lot for me that helped get me to where I am. And then Tim Travis and Coach Jager up at Morningside. I mean, those guys were really inspirational about why I'm doing this. I mean, all the time they put in with me, the extra workouts. I mean, they helped show me who I am today.
Yeah, great. Another small world. My brother coaches at Western Iowa. He's the assistant, one of the assistants and stuff. So, man, it's fun to coach against your brother, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's a blast. And I tell you, there was a 2 year span where I knew the criteria order because
Uh-huh.
we knew what this duel was going to come down to. It was coming down to the G criteria. We had this, you didn't have that. And all right, who's sick, not sick today? Because it's coming down to the the G criteria.
Yeah, when I was coaching boys, I never beat him, and one did come down to criteria. I don't know which one comes down to most forfeits, and that was the one he got me on. So yeah, since I wrestled him as a girls coach, he hasn't beat me yet. So, and he's my
There
older
you go.
brother too. So it's fun to beat your older brother. Um,
Oh, for sure.
yeah, that's always a good thing. And it's funny because even though we really get along and we always have, he's 6 years older than me, so we weren't really that we were very close because my mom and dad both had businesses and he took care of me. So I mean very, very, very close. But now the only time we see each other is during wrestling meets. So yeah,
Yep.
it's important to me. I have gotten through my outline. I always leave time for final thoughts. I want to say I really enjoyed getting to know you. I mean, it was fun talking the other night, but I to me, these interviews are as much for me because I absolutely love getting to know people and just the philosophies of different coaches, and it's crazy how close they all are. But
Right.
it's just fun to get to know people, and I really appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate I love your thoughts. I do. I really do. You're good coach, good AD. Um, really appreciate you. So, if you got any final thoughts for anybody on probably girls wrestling, since that way, girls wrestling podcast, but anything you want.
Girls wrestling. I mean, it's at first I was scared to make that jump of adding girls wrestling because I was like, man, is this just going to blow up in my face? Am I going to get am I going to get people that um, don't approve or they don't like what's going on? But the more I've done this, I don't care if it's for one girl or if it's for 20, 30, 40 girls, you're making a difference. You know, give that kid an opportunity because if they don't have anything else in the winter, give them something, give them the chance to wrestle. Find somewhere, take somebody to a wrestling meet, a wrestling practice. If you have kids that have wrestled, bring them back in the room, have them give back because I know they want to give back. Um, I got kids whenever Christmas break, you name a holiday, they come back and they see me. We're talking wrestling, but first off, we're talking life, and they want to come back in. They want to help, and thank you to wrestling for giving me that opportunity to help. But I'm very glad that I started girls wrestling, and I hope I can continue, making girls wrestling better down here, and along with the boys. I want both of our programs to not but to succeed and get
Yep.
better. But I'm glad I started this. Now I'm hoping I can sustain it. So
Awesome.
that's my goal.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And hopefully we'll see you down at the state tournament.
Yeah, no, yep, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on.
You bet.